We got a full moon live. Gotta do live with the moon. You know, got the halo on it. We got the Mexican moon in Gemini. It's a vibe. We're on a rooftop. He's on a rooftop enjoying that thing. And I was on the phone. I was just on the phone this whole time and definitely was channeling a message. And I just felt like the moon definitely may be influencing the message. So I'm just going to go live and continue to talk about what we were talking about on the phone. And, you know, see if I can just pull it back out or see what other messages come with it. You guys can stay tuned if you want. I'm going to be just saying this, and I just want to save it on my page and put it on my YouTube later. So pretty much, I want to go into the spiritual community. I want to start off by saying I did remove my retreats. You know, might as well just be upfront. I'm a very upfront person. I removed them. You know, I don't get paid from them. You know, it's not like I'm losing anything like that. I'm only losing money by having these things available ultimately. But what I wanted was, I wanted for people to be able to experience what I experience every day. I wanted people to be able to feel the difference rather than just seeing it. And I wanted to be able to be a beacon and a guiding light for that. But this is the thing, is that for the people who really want that or who will benefit from that, they are going to be around anyway. They're going to show up anyway. And you know what? I'm not going to charge you a dime, because it's going to be for a whole nother reason. It's going to be from a whole nother area, a whole nother space. So I'm doing away with the retreats because people are just using that as a route to have a sexual relationship with me, or to, you know, get away from whatever, or just, I don't know. It's just not authentic and genuine enough to me and what I represent with what I'm doing. So those who care about actually elevating to the levels to where I'm of service, I'm going to see you in life. I'm going to see you anyway. I don't need to worry about that. I've just met an amazing person, like, who I've always known, but it's like meeting them again because I'm seeing that we're growing on the same frequencies. We're growing. It doesn't matter how where we are today, guys. If you're growing and you're trying, that means everything. If you're running and you're hiding, that's everything, bro. And I want to highlight this to the spiritual community. Yes, it may have looked like I was starting another cult or a tribe, and that's what people are getting scared of. But the reality is, it is becoming a tribe. There are people who want to join up, and there are people who want to connect for a righteous reason, under real knowledge, and with real knowledge, and knowing that the point is for everybody to be so empowered within themselves, sovereign in all dimensions, that whoever is together is choosing together. Everybody's where they want to be in life. Everybody is in the relationships they're in because they're in their purpose, and these are the results of being in their purpose. No one should ever feel pressured to be around anyone. No one should feel like they have to become something else to be around people, to be around someone. Everybody needs to learn that the key here, there's nothing else that is more important in this life than to connect to the source. Everything else is bullshit. I grew up on McDonald's like everybody else. Okay? That doesn't matter. The point is to connect to the source. You can get the jobs, you can get the money, you can go into relationships, you can go into all different levels of psychology, all different levels of food. If we don't understand the intention of life, if we don't understand the reason of it, we will be lost. We will be at some degree of matrix. We will be in some level of veil. And you may think you're free, but you were programmed to be you. Even the spiritual community is a psyop. We're all doing the same thing anyway. So where's the issue? The issue is That everybody wants to claim that they're God and claim that they understand that they're God, but nobody's actually being God. What does that mean? Well, let's take it to a very digestible standpoint. Jesus Christ, right? Whether you agree with it or not, let's just talk about the story. This is a guy who went around saying, "You're God." This is a guy who went around preaching righteousness and morality. Okay? This person, this Jesus Christ character, once mentioned eternal life, sinning and sinners. Well, we know, I'm in Mexico, we know that the word sin means without. And I have figured out that it means without purpose. To sin is to be without purpose, without a soul, a lost soul. There's no purpose in what you're doing, ergo it's sin. But when you do things with intent, when you do things with purpose, it's something completely different. You see, that takes a choice. A choice rather than just whatever. Sin. Just for whatever reason, no real reason. But when you have a reason, it becomes a choice. Immediately, the moment you choose, that's the trick, is to be the cause. That is the trick, is to remind yourself that you can also be the cause. I don't care what you're choosing. And Erykah Badu said it, and I love it so much. I don't care if you're doing good. I don't care if you're doing bad. Are you aware that you're doing good? Are you aware that you're doing bad? You see, I'm nervous about the people who are not aware that they are programmed to be who they are. What they think they like is a program that they were given. Who they think they are, their straw man, to their jobs, to what they think their purpose is, to what they think their being is, to what they think their soul is. Programmed to what you think your dreams are. Programmed to think how your pineal gland actually works. Programmed. You guys don't know that you've been programmed to be who you are. You have yet to unveil who you truly are. And a lot of people say, well, I've been with me since forever. You've been programmed since forever. The greatest unveiling that one can do for themselves, the greatest unveiling that anyone can do for themselves, is to shell themselves all the way down to the point to where I am God. I am the source. I am connected to it. I have a connection to it. I have my own unique connection to the source. And I can go beyond space and time through my mind, and where other people can't go with me, but I can make them again if I want. You can go anywhere at any time through the mind, and we know that. But we squander this tool that we have. We get lost in the sauce and distracted. And we're not trapped in a realm more so than you're still hidden behind certain veils. You have yet to break out of certain levels. There are certain dimensions in which you are still in a matrix. And the only way out of all of them is to go to the source of what you truly are. As energy, as a frequency, as a vibration, to that degree. And until you start looking at everything in life from that point, will you ever be able to be sovereign in all dimensions? There are things that you are doing that you think you want to do that is just what you're able to do. It's what's available to you. And instead of becoming greater and more powerful and using the mind to a higher degree and training ourselves in our dream states, instead of doing that, we break down our egos, we break down our self-esteem, and we say, well, this is what I deserve. We say, well, this is my life. Well, I did this, I made this. And we overly identify with a fantasy. A fantasy, especially a pre-programmed one that was given to you that was meant to be a tragedy. You got to rewrite it all. But before you start to try to rewrite it, let go of who you think you are. You were programmed to be you. You were programmed to want what you want. You were programmed to think of relationships the way you think about them. You got an energy that is very special and unique in nature, yes, but it is being used for an agenda that you were programmed with. And you are playing your part so long as you are not connected to source in the most intimate way. If you are not connected to source in the most intimate way, you are still playing out a form of program, and you will see resistance in your life. They say, well, if you're God, then remember the jail thing, right? To Eligio, if he's God, then why does he get himself out of jail? You're right. You are completely correct. That is 100% right. You do have that ability, though. Just because one person didn't perform it or can't perform it does not mean that it still doesn't reign to be true. You are correct. If you were God, you would be able to get yourself out of that situation. Facts. Why? Because you would become the cause. You would begin to move energy from a whole different space. If that became your intent, you should be able to make it so. It doesn't mean to go around and do as thy will. But when one is connected to the source, you're going to stop doing things that would even put you in jail in the first place. And at another degree, the mind is powerful enough to navigate beyond space and time. You should be able to create whatever reality. That is the truth, yes. Now, how you experience it, this is what you need to understand. It doesn't matter what somebody else is going through, and it doesn't matter what somebody else is capable of. The only thing that matters is how much you're capable of. You see, because I could be living in my heaven already. That doesn't mean anything for you. You have to do what it takes for you. That's why each and every one of us have the ability to connect to source. You have hair. That is an antenna. You have melanin. I don't care what color you are. You have melanin. It is in hair. It is in skin. It is in your eyes. You are an antenna with super semiconductors. Your blood carries magnesium, metals. You have gold in your body. Each one of your blood cells are magnetically charged in an electrical body. Okay? You are an antenna. You are an electrical device like your phone. Your heart is nothing more than a pump. It's a pump. It pumps magnetic and electric components and creates a field, a magnetic field known as the biofield, which is your life force. You are an antenna. You are designed to connect to source. And if you disconnect from source, you're dead. Deeper than that, I want to talk about ayahuasca briefly. And I want you to just to realize how ayahuasca works. Ayahuasca is a poison, technically, and what it does is it gets rid of your DMT inhibitors. So what's actually going on when you're experiencing ayahuasca is the removal of limitations. You're experiencing reality. You're experiencing your mind. You're experiencing who you really are. You're experiencing you. Yes, this is who you are. That is what life really is for you. When your inhibitors are on, you need these inhibitors so that your heart can pump, so that you can breathe, so your body can do what it needs to do to sustain itself. It has designed inhibitors, so every time you don't bite an apple, you get super fucking high. Okay? Everything that is life, that is carbon, has DMT in it, and it can get you high. Fruits, fruit juices, all these different things. However, you have these inhibitors that limit that experience. So what happens is when you do ayahuasca, it gets rid of those inhibitors. And you're experiencing just this free flow of your mind and your body, and it's just out the cage. And a lot of people don't really like what they experience and what they go through because they get to see where they really at. Okay, luckily I was able to go through a Temazcal process. I did combo in a very large amount, and I was able to purify all my organs and my entire vessel before I ever did the ayahuasca on the Scorpio full moon. And when I did my ceremony, it was different. I was pure. I was happy. I was Superman. My senses were in my body. You see, the spirit, and if you don't believe me, let me tell you, I sat there for hours, over 8 hours, deep breathing from my core. In complete bliss and euphoria the entire time while I'm watching other people screaming in their hell realms and going through all these different things. I'm going around Man, let me not tell you the whole thing. It was an amazing experience. At the end of this experience, everybody came to tell me what was going on. And the other shamans came to tell me, well, what happened was you're a rare case. You have a pure heart. You didn't have to go through what everybody goes through. You are already one with spirit. I'm like, I know. I guess I'm the only one doubting it. You remove these inhibitors, and I find out, bro, I love this place. This is where I'm home. I'm home. When it was the ayahuasca, it was like, oh, shit. Spirit's in the body. I'm back. And I asked Mente, ask Musa. That's what I would keep saying. The moment it happened, I'm like, oh, I'm back. This is heaven. I remember. Because my spirit is in my body. Not only did I gain a whole nother level of consciousness, which is an upgrade, 100%. Not only was I able to speak fluent Spanish, but my senses, my feeling, my taste, my touch, everything was amplified. I didn't feel like I was in an illusionary world. I felt like I was seeing things for what they were. And I was more aware than I've ever been because my frequencies were aligned. This is what it's like for me, uncaged. I love it because it's aligned, and I'm already aligned. My heart is already pure. I know that. Most of y'all know that. I know that. Anybody who gets on call with me knows that. Anybody who ever gets a reading with me knows that. Anyone who's lived with me knows that. Especially if you had a baby with me, you definitely know that I got a pure heart. That's facts. You might not like what I do. You might not like everything about me. But you know I'm real. And you know it's real because I can't play with this. There's nothing more important to me than my connection to source. I don't care. Fuck how you feeling. I pray for your healing. I'll see stacking and building. That's important for me. I got to keep working for me. Like, it's not that I don't care about how you're feeling, but that's up to you how you feel. I can't worry about that. All I got to do is worry about my connection to source, because if I can do that, I can make sure that we all win. If everybody thought like this. If everybody thought like, instead of waiting for somebody else to change for everything to get right. Instead of waiting for the humanity to get right. Instead of waiting for this to happen or that to happen. Didn't you know that you have the ability to change the entire universe, cosmic being? That you are infinitesimally tied to the source of all universe beyond space and time. And you can go to anywhere, space and time. Every time you go to sleep, you get an opportunity to master this ability, but you must go to sleep with intent. When Jesus spoke of eternal life, he was living his life with intention. He was living his life with awareness that I am one with God. I am one with the source. God got me. God gonna take care of me. God is gonna provide. Don't doubt. Don't worry. Stay focused. That's what Jesus would say. And when you go to sleep, what are you supposed to do? Stay focused. Have intent. And when you do that, you become what? Lucid in the dream. If you don't believe me, go watch the movie Inception. In the movie Inception, let me ask you a question. If in the movie, spoiler alert, if in the movie Inception, if the people who were going into the dream, if they forgot what their intention or what their mission was, wouldn't that be a big problem? They would just be randomly lost in this person's mind when they're actually there for an objective. So they're in a world and they're doing whatever they want to do, and they think they are whoever they are inside of this world, but they're not fully awoken. They forgot that there's a purpose. And as soon as you can remember the purpose, there is actually something to do there. There is actually something to do. But imagine you go into this dream space and you're not lucid and you forget. And you're just walking around and you get lost in this person's mind. Versus what they actually do in the movie, which they load into there with a mission, an objective, a goal, a plan. Somebody's going to make the world. Somebody's going to do this. They're going to make this and do that. They all got a role to play. They go in there with intent. When they go to sleep with intention, they are lucid. And Homeboy even created little tools to remind himself if he was dreaming or not, to make sure that he was lucid and he wasn't in an illusion when things were getting too good, making sure he didn't fall asleep. And it's not to put you on edge and to make you scared. It's to keep you focused on your power, on the ability of your mind, what you can do, who you truly are. You are an antenna meant to connect to the source. You don't need to understand all the glyphs and the symbols and the languages yet. I was raised on McDonald's like you. All you got to do is reconnect to the source through your breath. Everybody needs that to even be here. That's the one thing we all can do. You must connect through the breath. All of the other senses if you can. But what happens is when you calm down and your brain and your heart on the same coherence of 0.1 and they're neutral, you're just able to receive reality for what it is. When you're in this space and you gain that connection to source, you're going to be surprised that you have direction. You will be given instructions. This is where all of your books that you might want to back up, whatever your religion may be, whatever religion you may claim to stay in, whatever lifestyle that you're living. Anyone who's ever wrote those channeled those books. They channeled those scriptures. They channeled those understandings. Somebody did. And that same source that they got it from, you can get it from. And it'll be in you, and you can find ways to articulate it. You can make it into music. You can make it into dance. You can write books. You can do videos. As we evolve and as we grow, no, the world is perfect. It's us who must evolve. Mexico City right here is known as Teotihuacan. It was originally Teotihuacan. Now it is Mexico City. It is not evil. It is not wrong. It is still Teotihuacan. It's just being used differently. It's not wrong. Nature's still doing this. But the people in it, the people who leave it, the people who go into it, they still need to grow within themselves. And as we grow and as we evolve, we'll be able to restore things to higher frequencies, more balanced frequencies, balance them out. Yes, it's Mexico City right now, but the way that that's being lived in the matrix, in the veil, that all the people who are operating in quote unquote Mexico City, that is just so many layers in the matrix and the veil. You see, I'm aware of when it was Teotihuacan. I'm aware of another possibility of it. Beyond all those layers of the matrix, I'm looking at the land for its energy, its frequency, its vibration. I'm looking at what these things represent in multiple dimensions than just one, than just being cities and blocks and built. That is just so minuscule to what's really going on. But I can't show you that. You have to see it for yourself. You must open your eye. You have to literally decalcify your pineal gland. Why breath? Piezoelectricity. The pineal gland breathes with you. When you breathe from your core, a full breath, you change the pressure in your being. When you change the pressure in your being, your pineal gland expands. When it expands, it's like it's breathing. It's like an eye, and it's like a crystal, and it opens up. And when you exhale, it closes. The pressure changes in your being, and it squeezes. And like anything else, the more you move it and the more you move it, it's like knocking rust off of it. When you breathe properly, you will start to expand and open up and awaken your pineal gland. If you don't believe me, sit down and breathe deeply, properly for 5 minutes and see if you don't get lightheaded, or see if you don't start seeing all these different weird colors layered over your reality. That's spirit, baby. That's chi, that's prana, that's life force. That's source. You're connecting to source. When you let go of trying to think and process through your brain, which is who you were programmed to be, you were programmed to be. When you're processing things through your brain, yeah, you're always going to be confused. But when you process things through your heart, from what they are, receiving them from a neutral space, what they are, before you interpret it through all of your traumas and all of your belief systems and all of your programs, the truth is still can touch you at a raw point from the heart. And when you breathe, you will naturally calm down. Your blood will actually return to the immune system. Your energy will focus on the immune system. You will heal. You will grow. You will expand. Your frontal lobe will begin to be active again. You can now use empathy. You can now focus on your frequency and control your emotion. Control your frequency that you are vibrating on. ergo controlling your reality, not only how you behave, but what you perceive when things do cycle through the brain. But from the heart, if the brain and the heart are at the same coherence of neutrality, the brain isn't using traumas. It's open to all possibilities. Welcome to the source. And it's the same thing as love, accepting people for who they are, unconditional love, not needing somebody to be anything else but what they already are. And you take these things and you apply them to yourself. And you let go of all of those things that are blocking you from becoming what you know that you can be. Connecting to the source is just the beginning. That's just re-identifying. That's just remembering. And you have to do this and you have to experience this to high degrees. I understand why they use plant medicine completely. Because if you can take a peek into what else is there, you're going to be afraid of your own. You're either going to be afraid of your own mind and you're going to stay far away from that, or you're going to be like, what the fuck was that? And why? Why is that so different than this, but it's still me? How did I go through that crazy psychedelic experience and I'm completely safe, insane, and I remember it all, and I feel better. I feel like changing my life. Why do psychedelics make us do that? Because you just saw through the veil, baby. You just realized that there's more, and you have a choice. You can either put the veil back on and start living in your little play circle longer until you're eventually forced out. You're eventually forced into the same lesson, but it's resistance now, so it's going to come through pain and suffering. Or you'd be like, hold on, how many more veils are there? And you just keep going, and you keep expanding and opening up to infinity. And as soon as you can fathom infinity and know that all things are possible, love is now possible. Now you can accept people for who they are without needing them to be what you need them to be. The only thing people need to know is that you were programmed to be who you are. You don't even know who you are yet. And there's, all of you are trying to find out. You all want to find your purpose. 30 years old, 40 years old, 50-year-olds still don't know their purpose. 48-year-old driving a taxi, still can't wait to working to live his dream, spending his whole life. When the dream was a program. The job to get to the dream was a program. Everything around it was a program. When who you are is the source, and you can go straight into your purpose. You can go straight into bliss, straight into nirvana, straight into your dream home, straight into your dream relationship. You just got to grow. You got to be ready. You have to be ready. If it showed up right now, are you a match for it? My house is spotless. I can host the finest guest and be proud of myself. I keep my mind sharp. I keep myself up. I stay aware so that when I do conversate with people, I can hang no matter what. I go out in society, in public, I don't need to worry about social anxiety, because what are we talking about? I got knowledge on that. Like, I can talk about that. I love to talk about that. Yeah, I can go into that avenue with you. I can connect. No, I don't know anything about it, but I'm open to understanding. I actually was taught this, not about that, but that could just be a program. So since it's something you do, let me be open to hearing it from you. And maybe I can understand life more for what it is, rather than blocking myself from levels of what life is, which is a matrix. It is a veil. It is fear. And it is a low frequency, and it is keeping you from using those abilities that we make fun of other people for attempting to make use of. But when it's some dusty dude in a third world country floating and flying, we don't care. We want to see somebody here doing it, making money off of it, making reels off of it. Bro, magic is happening in my life live, but magic don't look like how you think it look. It happens through magnetism. It's the unseen energies. I'm doing it now. This is moon magic, right? I'm using all of this energy to magnetize some type of message, to make some type of effect. And I don't care if the message gets out in this third dimensional way, as if I'm ordering a pizza and I'm putting the message out and I'm hoping somebody receives it and then gives me back a reward. No, I'm putting it out into the beyond space and time. I'm putting it out into the ethers. This is a frequency I'm resonating on, and I know my life will change. But guess what? I do everything else that matches it. I get up, I work out, I'm ready. I'm ready for what I want. My house cannot be dirty and me ask for a millionaire vibe. I cannot be unhealthy and ask to be the best father for my children. Even in the layers of the matrix, there's a simple understanding that it always comes back to building your value. You can be in a room with a millionaire or in a room with a person with $10. I'm going to choose to build with the person who has built their value rather than who has the money. Because the person who has the money but who hasn't built their value, in one moment, everything you built can be destroyed. Whereas the person who has built their value but may only have $10, oh, we can build anything. And then we can build it again and build it again. And whether the money's there or not, we have things. We have built value. We can get things. We can do things. I'm not dependent on money. I'm not dependent on the system. I'm not dependent on an A-OK from somebody. That's not where we want to be. We want to be sovereign in all dimensions. There's no better way to do this than to know your purpose and to lock into that purpose and to live from that space. And how do you know your purpose? Well, you have to let go of who you think you are. You got to connect back to the source. You got to glimpse. You got to talk to God. You got to build that connection with God. God going to have you doing things that's going to have you undoing the life that you've built, letting go of habits, letting go of jobs, letting go of people. If you want to receive what you're asking for, because you asking God for a whole lot. But that's you. You asking yourself for a lot. But what are you willing to do for it? You want God to do something about it, but you won't? Match yourself. Put the intention out and put some work out too. Don't worry about the results. It's about the energy. It's about the intent. It's about being woke. It's about being aware of what you're doing. Because if you're doing wrong and you're aware you're doing wrong, you're going to get with that what you're aware of. If you're doing right and you're aware that you're doing right, well, you're going to get that what you are aware of. If you are doing right or doing wrong and you are not aware of that, that's even worse. Why would you want to be in a null space of a not knowing? That is just anybody who chooses to not be a cause and chooses to be an effect. Anybody who isn't aware to any degree is an effect. Is a cause. Anybody who chooses to not be aware is going to be an effect. It's just simple as that. For what do you do things? Yes, the 7 Hermetic principles exist. Yes, universes exist. Yes, all these laws to it exist. Great. But why? What makes it what it is? Why this one? Why this space and time now? Why this? This is called generations. This is to generate. This is the reason. What is the reason? Why are we moving? Yeah, this is how it works. But why? Yeah, this is how you make a train and this is how the train tracks work. Okay, but where are we going? That's the generations. That's the purpose. That's free will. That's God. God has free will. That's how you know. Because you have free will. You can choose. In free will, the way that you choose through free will is through frequency. You can shift your frequency. That is the only thing you're in control of. If you don't even believe you're in control of your physical body, you are always in control of your frequency, the way in which you perceive things. And if you could calm down, which is a choice, you'll be able to regain control. But if you are just so caught up in the whirlwind of electrical impulses and perceptions and this matrix, you might forget that you have the power. And in the matrix, what did he say? He said, you trying to bend the spoon, that's your problem. You see, you gotta bend. You have to bend. You can't bend the spoon, that's impossible. Nigga, why you trying to bend the spoon with your mind? That's impossible. You gotta bend your mind. You have to bend your mind to make it possible. You gotta look at things different. And that's literally all it is. They teach it to you in the observer's effect. Immediately we know from the observer's effect in science that when you observe electrons, they behave like particles. That means when you're not observing them, they behave like waves. What that means is that when you're not observing them, they can be whatever. And when you are observing them, they're exactly what you want them to be. That's what that means. So life is exactly what you want it to be. And I can definitely say that I'm kind of coherent, but I know that I'm coming from a reality that I've created and co-created from a space that wasn't in the highest frequencies as well. But as I continue to align, everything starts to make sense. I mean, I feel like I'm waking up somewhere new. I feel like I'm waking up as someone new. I feel like I'm growing and I'm evolving consistently. I'm in the same places and they feel brand new every day. I'm losing track of time. I'm grateful for every moment. There's a big message right here. A real big message right here. It just that whole energy, it's like a whole blanket of energy, just. It just got so calm. Man, I'll tell you. This is what it's about, ultimately. The dream space. You spend 1/3 of your life asleep. 1/3 of your life you spend in bed, sleeping. How many of you are conscious of your dreams? How many of you are lucid in your dreams? And what if I told you that 1/3 of sleep space, what if I told you that has affected the other 2/3 of reality? The quality of life that you're living is reflecting the quality of guidance with your spirit, coherence and control. It's a chaotic space. You need to bring control. You need to bring intent so you can be lucid in a dream, so you can be aware. They tell you don't go to sleep, but to rest. Sleep, to go unconscious. It's okay to go unconscious, but go into the unconscious with consciously. That means with intent. Even if your intent is to receive a message, even if your intent is to be open, that's an intent. And that at least will allow you to be lucid. As long as you play your part and you try, the divine will meet you. You will be given further instructions. All you got to do is be open to receive more. This is called love, self-love. Know you are capable of more. Know that the things that you don't like in your life are the limitations of you, and you are greater than that, and you could be more than that. You could do more than that. You can will yourself out of any situation. You don't need a wish for anything. Don't need a wish upon a star and hope that something from the outside. No, will it. Become the thing. Embrace the feeling. Embrace the vibration. Be it. Visualize it. Experience it. Know it. Intentfully grab it. Get it. Live it. It's yours. It's you. You can do it. Everything that's making you think that you can't is a limitation of you. You are dreaming. Make it what you want. You put a goal in here for yourself. You got an objective, you got a purpose. And this is how you know it's with the only thing you want to do. If you had all the money in the world and had all the freedom and all the time in the world, what would you be doing? And don't answer that from who you're programmed to be. And don't answer that from what's available to you. Try to answer that from the position of the source. You would create something beautiful. Something kind of like this. But what level and what frequency will you be at? Will you be able to appreciate it as beautiful? Or will you walk around in this place like it's a problem? the senses, the ability. Just because you're not using your body for what it's for doesn't mean that this life sucks. Just because you're not breathing and your spirit's not in your body and you're not feeling touch for what it is, the sensations in Tantra, there's a reason why my sex is better. Because I use all of my senses and I bring my spirit into there. I control my energy within myself. What do you think is going to happen when I do it with another person? My energy is like an extension of me when it comes to that. But that's the same thing as being tapped into source. That's the same thing as doing things with intent. Putting your spirit into things. Your senses. You want to know what feels good? What tastes? To really taste. You want to know how you're not using your senses? You eat food all the time. Go eat the same thing you ate today, tomorrow. But when you eat it this time, eat it really, really slow. And listen to the sound it makes. And take the time to really smell it. And really look at it. And use all of your senses to eat this food. And you'll see how much more blissful it can be. Or gruesome it could be, say you're eating the wrong thing. Try it with a fruit if you want to play it safe. Eat a fruit. Eat a fruit normally. Just eat it. Now, go get that same fruit and slowly unpeel it. Slowly feel the juices. Smell it. Let all your senses. Then you're going to start to realize, like, wow, just by putting a little intent and a little bit of consciousness and intent and focus on something, it even becomes more pleasurable. Wow. I can actually even make the physical experience better just by shifting my focus. I can actually embrace what is here on the material plane more. Rather than just having sex to have sex. You know how many women, oh my gosh, it's so sad how many people say, women have said they've never really had an orgasm out of all the times they had sex. I'd be like, wow, that's interesting. Not like with me, that it's not the case with me. That's why I get the stories. It's because they explain it's like there's no spirit. There's something missing. It's just something missing. Women are naturally tantric. Women are naturally tapped into that sexual energy. Men, on the other hand, they really need to work on harnessing that kundalini energy, that serpent, that dragon, I like to say, so that they can harness their kundalini energy, so that they can control it within themselves. You see, it all comes back to self-mastery. Even if you're to do tantric practice with another person, it starts with you. It starts with your ability. You got to show up. You can't just be a poser. You got to show up, and you got to be able to control your energy too. And yes, what the first faculty you're going to do this through is the breath. There's yogas, there's all other kind of things that can help, but the breath is what you're going to use. I feel like I'm about to take off in this mood, man. This is crazy. It's simple as that. And I just wanted to highlight that real quick. I mean, it gets way deeper, obviously, with the layers of the matrix. So that's why I take it straight to the source. And I keep reiterating the same point. There's many ways to go about this, but the most important thing is to realize that you were indeed programmed to be you. The moment you can start to accept that you like what you like because it's what's available. You think you are who you are because of how you've lived your life and how you've experienced things. But we've been lied to majority of our lives. We know that. We know that we're not being taught how to use our beings. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm teaching y'all that. Teaching step 1. Everything else comes from this. You're going to receive all your instructions if you do this. If you connect to source. Like, I don't need to tell you who needs to be a bodybuilder and who needs to read more and who needs to study code or who needs to build this or do that. That's spirit will tell you that. Your source will tell you that. That's your purpose. You will know. But you got to sometimes gain assistance from other people in life and research and things to learn in what ways are you being blocked. And to learn how can you start to do things to unblock yourself. You've put yourself here and you've crystallized your mind to this reality. You're here. You're here. And there is a way out and way to do anything. And there's always a door. The moment you need it, it's there. The moment you need the door, it'll show up. That's your power. Everything is what it is. The moment you're ready for the level up, you can have it. The moment you're ready to learn, the teacher will appear. And when you step into your purpose, students will appear. Nevertheless, you got to tap into source. That's the only thing I could tell you to do. There's nothing else I need to teach you how to do. I can tell you what works for me. I can inspire you. We can do things that are similar. However, I can't tell you what God got to tell you. You got to figure that out. And you got to connect to source for that. Sovereignty in all dimensions. You need to build that relationship with source yourself. I can't do that for nobody. But I don't need to do that for nobody. I only need to do that for me. If I do it alone, that's enough to change the entire world. Me alone doing that is enough to change the entire world. Imagine if you did it. Imagine if we did it. All it takes is one, man. All it takes is one. I can't believe I'm here. I'm in Playa del Carmen, Mexico on a Gemini full moon, one of the most sacred full moons to the Mayans. And I'm in the land. And I'm here. And I'm looking at Sirius, I'm looking at Jupiter, looking at the moon, bright, right above me, while I'm in one of the more prestigious buildings on the land with this level of knowledge, knowing who I am. This is very magical. I feel the spirit. I feel it. I feel the energy of the land. I feel this. It's in the ocean. I can smell the whole ocean. The ocean is small right now. Spirit. Beyond space and time. I know my astrology. My astrology allows me to see these patterns very easily. It makes me a healer of healers. I may not be here for everyone, but I'm here for those who can comprehend me, and those people tend to be healers. Those tend to be very loving, beautiful people. Those who know. Well, I may not be here for everybody. May not be for everybody. And I'm for the healers. I'm a healer of healers. For the healers who have no one to go to help you heal, I'm here. You can call me. When you feel like there's nowhere else to look, where there's nowhere else to go, if you ever get to that position, I'm always there and I'm always available. For those who've called me and those who know, you know. Those who spend time at all with me on the phone, just over a little bit, you know. You already know what time it is. It's going to be a very spiritual thing. Without choice. I don't have a choice. I'm silent. My whole entire day, I'm just silent. The moment I get on the phone, the moment I'm dealing with somebody, and I start talking, it's just a channel. We'll see. I don't even know what emotion you're going to... I don't know. I've gone to that space. That's my energies, though. Gemini 12th house, mutable. I know my energies are different. I'm functioning as me. Y'all got to function as you. That's why you got to connect to source, which is what we all can do. That's what makes us the same. The fact that we can't connect to source and how we can do it and how we do it. That's what makes us the same. So that's the only message that I come to bring. That's the only thing I want y'all to do, is to have sovereignty in all dimensions. I don't need to teach you all of the dimensions. I only need to let you know that you need to connect to source. And when you connect to source, you will unveil the rest. And as you work, I will be working. And as I expect other people to learn this and pick this up, I'll be practicing it. And hopefully my results can continue to amaze and astound people. People may not see the results I already have. And against all odds, I'm living the life that I'm living. Against all of the odds, coming from nothing, being completely homeless. Being completely homeless to penthouse living. Higher value than I ever imagined that I'd ever have. I have skills I never thought I'd even existed. I'm doing things I never would have imagined I'd be doing. I'm meeting people I never thought I would meet. I'm becoming something I could have never fathomed because I was programmed to be who I was. And now I'm being who I am. Let go of who I was. And I've tapped into the source. And I'm divinely guided. And those who've done it, you know what I'm talking about. But you got to maintain that connection, don't you? We all got it. That's my point. But you got to maintain it. And you got to keep that connection clear. And then it's you can have the connection, but then it's like what you do with it. Are you really resonant with it? Are you really a frequency match with what's going on and what you're being told from your connection? What you're being told is what you're saying. It's all one and the same. It's instant knowing. It's just truth. Truth is just there. It's all the processing that's the problem. So that's why I'm always going to tell y'all, just connect to source. Connect to God for yourself. How you do it, there's many of ways which we could do it. That's why I go into people's astrology, because we can find exactly which one person would need specifically for them. Astrology is a route to how to transcend your own energy. The goal is to transcend astrology. It is a map specifically for you to navigate to full mastery. That's what astrology is. You don't need it, but you might want to use it, especially if you have access to it. It's just a book. It's just another language, and it makes a map of your energies back to unison, oneness, to create complete balance and harmony within oneself. If one can know how to, read the code, they can figure out, well, what's wrong or what's right, or how things are relative, and compare it to how your life is going and versus what's going on. You can see what's what and what needs adjustments, what needs frequencies, what needs balance, what needs attention, what needs awareness. Astrology is a very important tool, and it can help you fix many of life's problems in an instant if you get the right astrologer. So that's why I do. That's my gift. So I took down the retreats, but we're still doing free readings. So we're going to do free readings and no retreats. I'm just going to live my life. I'm just going to keep doing the same shit. I'm doing readings, but I'm not doing retreats anymore. So I'll be posting this on my page. Y'all can go ahead and make what you want with that. But this was a very, very dope live. We done, man, we're going to blew the top off of this shit, man. I know who I am, and this video, I'll put this on YouTube. I know who I am, and I know what I need to do. And I'm here to teach unconditional love, and I'm here to be an example of unconditional love. That's my purpose. My purpose is to be an example of unconditional love. And I know where it starts. It starts with me. It starts with myself, and unconditionally loving myself, which allows me to unconditionally love other people. It doesn't dictate what you do. It doesn't dictate what they do. It's a mindset. It's an open heart. It's open energy. It allows me to do anything and be anything. It allows. The way it flows through me is different than the way it's going to flow through you. So, yet again, I tell y'all, connect to source. Your route back to your purpose is going to put you into the ultimate you. And the ultimate you is going to function in this society perfectly. Like, that's what we need. Everything else is just dissonance and resistance. There's something that resonates with you, and that's what you need to align with. If you're not aligned with that, that's why it's the matrix. You're being something that you were programmed to be. And most people might even fight that, and they call that cognitive dissonance, but I digress. The point has been made. And I'm going to go ahead and just go back down to my room and just, make some tea, see what I want to do. Very, very high energy. I think I'm going to go do a moonlight yoga flow right now. A moon flow yoga thing, and just enjoy my night. Get some rest and get some dreams. Go consciously. Like, before you go to sleep, get you a journal and write down certain things. Write down your intentions. Me knowing my purpose to unconditionally love, when I go to sleep, I have very pleasant dreams. I'm always getting answers. I'm always getting, adventures and journeys and stuff that, I'm always empowered. I'm always, helping. I'm always doing things, and I wake up, and they're always completely relative to, what I got going on within my 1 to 2 day range. It's always relative. So I don't know about y'all, man, but I'm a 12th house Mercury and a 12th house Sun. So I'm really deep into dreams. I'm really deep, and my Neptune's in Capricorn and my Saturn's in Pisces in the 10th house. So my dreams are really solidified worlds. I really live in my dreams. Like, and my dreams last days on end. Like, I'll be dreaming for 4 or 5 days at a time, and I don't mind, because it's just another life. Like, sometimes, like, I'm not lucid, but I'm aware enough to know, like, I'm going to sleep in the dream, waking up in the dream. It's knowing it's in the dream, but I'm not lucid, but I'm so aware of what dreams are, that I'm, like, naturally kind of lucid. You know, but I'm not in there like, fireball, do this, do that, do this. I'm not in there like that. I'm kind of like flowing with what my subconscious mind goes, but I'm aware of it. This is different. So one way you can build this is through writing your dreams when you wake up, and then writing intentions before you go to sleep. Also, when you go to sleep, you don't want to just fall asleep. You actually want to meditate to sleep every night. You always want to meditate to sleep. It's a great thing to do a yoga flow and then, like, end it with a pose or something that will just let you go to sleep. Meditate into sleep. Don't turn the mind off, accelerate it. Go into the mind. That is how you rest. You'll activate brain waves that will actually end up healing the body as you rest as well. So, science. All right, y'all. This has been real. Thank you, Source. Thank you, everything, for everything, man. I'm grateful, to say the least. I just feel. Oh, I didn't even talk about stars in the other realms, or the moon and the sun, and what they are, and I didn't even go into what this realm is. The water, what's in the water. I didn't even go into it. It's okay. There's no need. We got what was important. Connect to the source, y'all. And I hope you enjoy your full moon. And walk back to the room. Let's see what happens. Beautiful, beautiful vibe. That was legendary.